Ah, the PlayStation 2. The console that raised a lot of us, entertained us, and probably made a few of us fail a few school tests. Today we're diving into the absolute best action games PlayStation 2 had to offer. We've got gods, demons, zombies, gangsters, and Ivo Viggo Mortensen swinging a sword. Strap in because we're about to revisit some of the greatest action-packed insanity to ever grace a CRT TV. And if you still got your PS2, congratulations, you're a certified legend. If you do like this video and believe I've earned it, please hit that like and subscribe button as well as a notification bell to be notified of the next video. It's a small thing for you guys, but for me it means so much. And if you want to support the show financially, you can do it at patreon.com/retrowars, where you can get involved in the weekly podcast, join our community, the Smut Squad, and receive your own additional podcast every week. So let's get into it. Here are some of the best action games for the PlayStation 2. Now before the beard, before the Norse mythology phase, Kratos was just an extremely angry Greek dude on a mission to punch Zeus in the face. And God of War 2 on the PlayStation 2? Well, it was absolute carnage. This game throws you to insane set pieces, like fighting the Colossus of Rhodes, riding Pegasus, and wielding the Blades of Chaos like a demonic chef at an all-you-can-slay buffet. If God of War was good, God of War 2 took everything and cranked it up to the stage of, we just need a new PlayStation after this. The combat is smooth, the quick time events make you feel like a god, even if you're just pressing circle like your life depends on it. And the bosses? Oh, chef's kiss legendary. If Kratos had $1 for every mythical creature he turned into a corpse, this guy could just buy the whole of Olympus. But let's not forget, the story was top tier as well. After Zeus betrayed Kratos, which wasn't a good idea, our boy gets a second chance to set things right by claiming his way back up from the underworld. With the help of the Titans, he goes on an epic revenge tour, stopping only to brutally eviscerate anything that breathes. Now let's talk about some of these weapons. Sure, the Blades of Chaos are iconic, but the addition of weapons like the Barbarian Hammer and the Spear of Destiny gave us way more ways to send enemies straight back to Hades. And don't even get me started on magic attacks. Kronos' Rage turned enemies into unwilling lightning rods, Atlas Quake turned Kratos into an earthquake machine, and Typhoon's Bane let you snipe fools with a wind-powered crossbow. Basically, if you weren't using every ability at your disposal, you're playing the game wrong. And let's not forget the difficulty curve in this game is absolutely ruthless. You ever tried to fight the Sisters of Fate without breaking your controller? This was simply a test of patience and skill. But when you finally made it to Zeus and gave him a taste of his own betrayal, oh, the satisfaction. If you've never played God of War 2, you missed out on one of the greatest action games of all time. End of. Devil May Cry 3. See, this is what happens when you mix anime, rock music, and a gallon of energy drinks. Dante, our red-coated protagonist, spends the entire game flipping, slashing, and dual-wielding pistols like a caffeinated gunslinger, and let's not forget you can taunt your enemies mid-fight just to rub in how much cooler you are than them. The story? Well, it's a classic simple rivalry. Dante vs Virgil. Two brothers, one tower, and a whole lot of slow-motion sword fights. If you ever wanted to look stylish while absolutely wrecking demons, then this is the game for you. Bonus points if you can actually achieve triple S rank instead of D, down, that was shit. Combat in this game is all about style. You don't just defeat them, you obliterate them in the most dramatic way possible. The game grades you on how well you mix up your attacks, encouraging you to constantly switch between guns, swords, and even fists. Oh, let's not forget you can choose different combat style. Trickster lets you dodge and zip around like a ninja, Swordmaster turns you into a whirlwind of destruction, and Gunslinger lets you juggle enemies with bullets. And the Royal Guard, well, that's just the pros who like to block attacks at the last second, like they have actual superpowers. And the bosses, well, they were amazing. Fighting Virgil was like battling your own dark reflection, complete with an anime sword duel that could rival any Shonen Jump series. Other bosses include Cerberus, a three-headed ice dog who does not appreciate your presence, and Nevin, a seductive vampire lady who turns into a freak electric guitar. This game doesn't have style, it's just extra style. And the game is tough. If you thought Dark Souls was challenging, try beating this game without getting absolutely destroyed. The enemies do not mess around, and neither does the game. But once you master the mechanics, you feel like an actual star. Resident Evil 4. Oh, Resident Evil 4? You mean the game that turned survival horror into an action-packed nightmare? Leon S. Kennedy is now here with his stylish hair physics, is on a mission to rescue the president's daughter from a cult that apparently majored in how to be extra creepy 101. But don't get it twisted, this isn't your slow tank control Resident Evil anymore. No, the game throws you headfirst into the chaos and expects you to survive. Like, the moment you step into that eerie Spanish village and you hear that first chainsaw rev up, you know you're in there for a bad time. Unlike the classic zombies, these villagers, the Las Plagas infected granados, are smarter, faster, and way more violent. They duck, dodge, surround you, and even will chuck a pitchfork in your face, which is not very nice. Like, nothing in this game will let you relax at all. Combat in Resident Evil 4 is all about precision. The game's over-the-shoulder aiming revolutionized third-party shooters, making every bullet count. You can shoot enemies in the knees to stagger them, and then pop them in the head for a risky critical hit, or blast them in the arms so they drop their weapons. And when the fight gets too close, roundhouse kick their skulls into oblivion. To be honest, all I used to do is a suplex. Shot to the knee, suplex. But let's talk about the real MVP in this game, the Merchant. The guy pops up in the most random, dangerous locations and acts like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry. Here you go, weapons, upgrades, and just the classic stranger, now that's a weapon. Or to be honest, I just prefer the, what are you buying? And you're not going to need his weapons because later on the enemies are just pure nightmare fuel. The generators are their creepy breathing and twitchy movements. No, thank you. And of course, the boss fights were legendary. A giant lake monster, a relentless knife-wielding assassin, and a final showdown against a mutant cult leader who has way too many eyeballs. If you love horror and action, this game still holds up today, even if Ashley just will not shut up. Metal Gear Solid 2. Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, aka the game that just trolled everybody. You thought of playing a Solid Snake? Surprise! Here's Raiden. And while everyone thought that was mad back in 2001, let's be honest, Raiden is kind of a beast. The dude cartwheels through bullets, sword fights giant robots, and takes down Metal Gears like he's swatting flies. Stealth in this game is next level. They worked in teams, called for backups, and even followed footprints in the snow. And if they saw you go into a locker, they actually just opened the locker. This wasn't your typical hide-and-seek game, this was tactical espionage action. The gameplay gives you ridiculous amounts of options. Knock on walls to distract guards, use tranquilizers instead of bullets, or just slap people in the face and run. And let's talk about the first-person aiming. It was groundbreaking for the time. Suddenly you could shoot out cameras, lights, and even enemies' radios so they couldn't go for backup. And let's just go over some of the plot. Oh boy, if you ever played this game, explain the story is like trying to explain a fever dream. AI conspiracies, fake identities, digital warfare, postmodern philosophy. This game straight up predicted social media manipulation before Facebook even existed. And at one point, your commander tells you to turn off the console, and you start questioning reality itself. I'm not gonna lie, when it started saying mission mailed, I was like, what the hell is going on? It's still one of the wackiest moments in video games I've ever played. And yes, there is a part of Raiden is running around in his birthday suit dodging guards. That happened and we all just went, yep, it's fine, don't worry about it. It's good. Good gameplay. Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas. Yes, GTA San Andreas, the only game where you can go from robbing a casino to working out at the gym, fighting aliens in Area 69 in all the same play session. CJ is one of the greatest protagonists of all time, and if you didn't spend hours just driving around listening to Radio X, did you even play this game? Like, the open world is massive. Massive. 3 cities, countryside, desert, mountains, and this is the most open world game of its time. You could swim, finally, but eat too many burgers and get fat, well that's about normal. Customize your cars and recruit gang members for all-out street wars. And the cheat codes? Game breaking. Spawn tanks, fly cars, make pedestrians riot. San Andreas turned cheat codes into an art form. Like, the missions were insane. Stealing a jetpack from a military base? Check. Hijacking a train? Check. Betting your life savings on a horse race? Also check. But let's not forget Big Smoke's legendary order. 2 number 9s and a number 9 large. We all tried to recite it by heart. The best part, this world just felt alive. Pedestrians had conversations, rival gangs attacked your turf, cops would absolutely ruin your day, and you could even learn martial arts. The level of detail in this game was absolutely insane. The game gave us so much freedom, which usually meant doing things the developers probably never intended. Ever tried landing a plane on a moving train? Yeah, why not? Or jumping off a mountain in a BMX bike just to see what happens. This game was just endless fun. Simply put, San Andreas wasn't just a game, it was a playground of chaos, and we loved every second of it. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. And to be fair, you could throw a third one in as well if you want. A Lord of the Rings game that didn't suck? Yeah, The Two Towers was a hack and slash masterpiece. You can play as Aragorn, Legolas or Gimli, and your main goal is to spam square until everything in front of you is dead, and somehow it's incredible. The combat was simple but satisfying. Each character had light and heavy attacks, parries, counters and devastating finishing move. Plus every level felt straight out of the movies. The game literally starts with a prologue battle out the first film, then throws you into Helm's Deep, the Mines of Moria and the Tower of Orthanc. If you loved the movies, the game was just pure fan service. And to be honest, the final battle at Helm's Deep is absolutely insane, and the PS2 must have been like, okay, here we go, I'm going to snort something I shouldn't be snorting, and off we go. And the upgrades? Well, you needed those. At first you're swinging an Urukai like a guy trying to kill a wasp, but by the end you're spinning through enemies like a Beyblade of death. Legolas turned to a machine gun with a bow, Aragorn became an unkillable force of destruction, and Gimli, we just love Gimli, he's a legend. The game's difficulty was brutal at times. Trolls, well, they could swat you like a fly. Hundreds of Urukai, well, they just gang up on you like it's Black Friday at Walmart. But that's what made this game so satisfying. Pulling off the perfect counter, slashing through enemies, and finally taking down bosses that made you rage quit 3 times before. And let's not forget, this game lets you fight the freaking Balrog. Need I say more? And finally, the Punisher. If you ever wondered what GTA would be like with zero mortality, well, the Punisher's your answer. Frank Castle doesn't just kill enemies, he annihilates them. And the interrogation scenes, oh my god, brutally creative. Feeding a guy to piranhas, throwing someone into a wood chipper. Yeah, this game lets you go full vigilante justice. The story is pure Punisher. A mob breaks out, and Frank Castles decides, yep, time to just literally kill everyone. What follows is a non-stop rampage through nightclubs, docks, drug labs, and secret underground torture chambers. Well, of course he's got them. Gunplay was fast and brutal. Dual wielding, environmental kills, and the famous slaughter mode where everything slows down and Frank just wrecks people like he's starring in a John Wick movie. But the highlight has to be the interrogation system. The more creative the kill, the more intel you got. Hang a guy for ledge? Boring. But slam his head into a piranha tank? It's dark, twisted, and exactly what you expect from the Punisher. Long story short, if you like your action gritty and unapologetically violent, this is your game. And that's a wrap. 7 absolute bangers that made the PS2 the king of action games. Let me know in the comments which of these is your favourite, or if I've missed another legendary title. Because let's be real, the PS2 library was stacked. Now if you excuse me, I'm going to get my PS2 and start playing and dust off some nostalgia. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in a few days from the video. My name's been Danny, take care of yourself, bye bye.